A new day, a new group, and 16 new teams enter the fray, all vying for a spot in Paris for the Blast TV Major coming up in not too long now. We're getting ready to go into Group B of the RMR, and my God, things are getting spicy, boys. They call it a group of death, and lives will be lost over the next few days. Let's check out our teams. Let's check out some of the rosters we have. Some Tier 1 boys in the mix with some upcomers as well. This is going to be a fantastic week. I can feel it already.
Yes, hearts will be broken and challenges and legends made here in the run-up to the major, the EU RMR Group B. Looking to begin, and some pretty interesting ones here. We'll go ahead and take a look at the bracket and start to talk through this.
Yeah, some things stay the same, some things change, new rosters, but the same system here as we enter Swiss, and more madness here to begin our BO1s, Jack. They're always spicy in these opening games.
Yeah, especially here as well. Like the Scoville scale is off the charts in terms of some of the draw that we got, right? Like Astralis, Vitality, Eternal Fire, Nip, G29, like those games towards the bottom are all quite tantalizing. And there's some names we haven't really seen on LAN in a while, so it's cool to have that developing as well, Hugo.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though we have like more Tier 1 teams, right, coming into this side, and a lot more proven rosters, obviously some scary seeds given
G2's last run through the RMRs being one that I think it's better we all forget, and G2 coming into this. But I think in terms of a studio environment, that's actually where this team does their best work. I think it's better than online. They have that kind of comfortability of not as much pressure of, to the tune of thousands of spectators, but, they still have the kind of LAN camaraderie and what comes with that. I actually had a little chat with Hobbit earlier, though, so why don't we throw over to that and see what he had to say. We're joined by Hobbit from Cloud9. Firstly, you guys had a good performance back at EPL, obviously reaching the grand finals. Coming into this, we saw what happened with FaZe over in that Group A. What's your kind of take on, some of the favorite teams having struggled, and do you guys feel worried for the same thing?
I'm not worried about that. It's normal, I mean, nowadays everything can happen, and the competitive is very strong. You can lose to everyone, you can win against everyone, so yeah.
And, in this matchup in particular, you guys actually played recently online in the BO1 finals. You beat them pretty dominantly. Now that you're coming into this on LAN, do you think that gives you even more of an edge?
You know what? That wasn't like an easy game. It was really hard to play against them. They were leading us, and, I felt that they adapted to us. They tried to counter. They create something new. And, everything can happen today, but as a team, I hope we're gonna shine.
I like that. And I can imagine you guys are feeling pretty confident after, making the grand finals back at EPL. Your online results looking good. Would you say the vibe within the team is that of a very confident Cloud9 right now?
I mean, yes, we're very confident, to be honest. We were practicing, and we create some new stuff. We have a very experienced new player who adapted very well with us, and we'll see.
All right, sweet. Thank you very much, Hobbit. Good luck today.
Yeah, I mean, the form for Buster has, without a doubt, looked better every single time as well. Hobbit mentioned that, so I think we can sit comfortably on Cloud9 at the moment. Obviously, their Katowice debut was a disappointment. We weren't happy. There were questions for Buster, but the results are picking up. Every single time he builds his squad up, they always are ready to do damage, and this one is no exception, right? You've got some very young players here, folks like Resalt even plucked out of the Academy League, and he's been able to pump out some exceptional results with this Forze team. Did I just see Heku?
Yeah, we did just see Heku.
What's she doing?
Interesting.
We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, that's really put me off.
That did throw me through a loop. Sorry.
But Jerry's great. Jerry's great always to talk to, always has a great eye for the game. I mean, he's played with, even major winners, man. He had Flit in this team for the longest time. And when Forze were on the come up, players like FaceCrack, Almeta. So a lot of home CIS names that we know and love today. So yeah, it's I think this is the best roster Forze have fielded in a long time. Yeah,
I mean, so that was what was always impressive about Jerry, was like he would kind of take these players that up until they came under his leadership, it had always been either like middle of the pack or they were known about, but hadn't like realized the potential yet. And I think he was fantastic at kind of bringing the best out of whoever you give him. And as you said, I did actually get to catch up with Jerry. We had a very good chat, very long interview. So maybe we bring that in right about now and get it started.
All right, now we're joined with Jerry, the captain of Forze. Jerry, I just want to kind of touch upon coming into this event. You guys obviously had a great run back at EPL, turned a lot of heads there. You're also part of a pretty young team overall, so wins like that are pretty important for building confidence. Would you say that you've noticed, you know, the guys maybe riding that high from the EPL performance a little bit?
No, actually, we didn't know that we could be that high as we did in our EPL run, but I think it's all about, as you mentioned, confidence. So now we have some kind of half confidence, half preparation thing, and if we put it all together in this RMR event, let's not say Cloud9 match only, that would give us, I think, the result we wanted, because we were preparing hard for this.
Yeah, you know, kind of talking then on like the prep front, obviously this is a matchup you've known about for a while now. On top of that, you guys played recently online in the BetBoom final. You're someone who likes to do your research, so do you think that's maybe given you a bit to go back on and reflect upon heading into this BO1 matchup v Cloud9?
I think, yeah, we kind of, it was a shaky final from us because we struggled to do what we usually do in pracs against Cloud9, because those guys are really fast, experienced, and they know this game really well. For example, Shiro, he's 2 or 3 steps ahead all the time, and Konstantin Pikinyor, their coach, is the guy who is maybe 5 steps ahead. So I think that kind of final gave us some information we could use in this matchup, and we already knew the Vito, and it's going to be Inferno. Yeah, so, and we lost Inferno against them, and we actually picked that as our map pick. So in this best of 1 particular, I think it's going to be 50 on 50 actually, because best of 1 is always a roulette. Yeah. It's my rule inside my head. I don't know how the Konstantin think or Cloud9, but we as a team think it's a little bit roulette. It's all about pistols, anti-eco, and of course forced by round. So it's on Inferno. On Inferno, actually, pistols are pretty good. Yeah, so it might be really hard to win against anti-eco, you know? Some kind of deagle headshots on something. But it's going to be a really interesting matchup.
We had to cut him off, but there is more. Don't worry.
Actually,
we'll have Jerry chatting through your ears in a minute as well.
Yeah, there's a lot more out of Jerry. He's fantastic to talk to. You can tell when you talk to him why he's the leadership figure, right? He has a very, very good head on his shoulders, a great head for the game, I think. He's good as well because he is very experienced, very knowledgeable, but also he likes to talk about Counter-Strike and explain his theory and his way of, you know, perceiving the game. And I think he's actually very eloquent at that. I've always like made the joke that, you know, if playing ever, you know, stops and runs dry for this guy, he'd make like a fantastic analyst. You know, and I think the reason, you know, I actually think that like, it can be hard sometimes, you know, if you're like trying to lead to properly explain and accentuate your head and the way that you think and process the game, right? But he has no issue with that, and I think you see that with his teams. He's very, very good at bringing guys on side and having them play how he likes to play.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think there's great upset potential in this matchup as well. But we've got our predictions for the day broken down. Let's go over these boys. Any Forze pickers, Harry? You seem to like it. I can't blame you. I find it hard to pick against Cloud9, especially in an opening matchup.
Yeah, you know, I just tried to be ballsy, if I'm honest with you. And I'm hoping that because he's had a week to get everyone on side and everyone ready, maybe there's a chance for Forze here. Because I think, you know, the moment you give Jerry a bit of time to prep, the team gets 10 times deadlier, you know? Like, he will be shockingly aware, especially with them having played this map recently at that other event, as I say, in the final, on Inferno as well. Yeah, they got kind of steamrolled. Yeah, they got kind of wrecked. But that's going to give you a lot to learn.
Jackie, you're on your recovery arc. I see
also, wait, I'm the only Astralis picker here.
That is mad.
That is mad, isn't it? That is like really mad.
Honestly,
that is peak madness, you could say.
Hard to vote against ZywOo, but I do think that game is closer than we want to admit. You know, it's like, because we're on the day 1 of the group, I'm just going for the safe picks today.
Yeah,
I want to get the vibe check.
I've gone ballsy because I'm hoping it's like day 1 weirdness plays in.
Yeah, but hey, day 1 weirdness is coming down the pipeline, coming down the barrel, and luckily we've got more Jerry to talk our ears off.
And I should mention that all RMR events I've been on, they're always weird and odd because everyone wants to win, everyone wants to get to the major. I mean, ESL Pro League, it's really good tournament. But for example, major, it's a well-sponsored event, each team want to be here. Each team want to take a legacy inside the game history. Yes, sticker, it's all about legacy, yeah, right? Like, you played Counter-Strike and you have some kind of item that shows that you played your autograph, yeah, signed. And this is in heart of each player, and I think that's why this causes some odds and weird results in RMR. So I think in our group as well, I think it's a little bit more scary about rankings because we have more top 30 teams, yeah, except iNation. I think they are out of top 30, and Aurora maybe now, but whatever. It's going to be really interesting and unexpected. Let's say that. RMR B will be unexpected.
Are the underdogs, if you wanted to pinpoint it, but these dogs got some teeth, man, I'll tell you that. You know, on top of this, that interview with Jerry, I like kind of touching upon this idea of why the RMRs are so special and why the results are sometimes a bit up in the air, right? And it does, you know, one of the things he spoke about that was actually kind of missing from that clip was he was saying how everyone just gives 20% more. And he said, you know, some players it's a little over that. And he said like that 20% edge, the idea that you're going to be immortalized in the game, there's going to be a piece of you in the game, it shows the level you played at, it showed the dedication. It feels like a prize for almost your life's work in a way, right? And that's something that everyone wants. So let's get into this opener BO1 between Cloud9 and Forze for Group B. It's Inferno, Forze with the CT side start.
Right then, let's see if they can get themselves going early, or if this is going to be Cloud9 with the old classic on the pistol. Making their move up second mid early, and there could be a bit of commotion in the apartments. Resort already moved into the bedroom, Hugo.
Yeah, ahead of where they're ready for. Shalfie's going to get a spot, but he's dropped very quick. And Resort, they have no idea. This could still be the fly in the ointment. A late backstab. Zorti's going to have to hold off on his own from afar, but Resort sneaking in behind. He knows they're going. He doesn't want to take the shot. He wants more than one. He wants the whole enchilada.
This is crazy. This is big, but Resort, he's been checked. Still strikes quickly. Axal out of the round. One man up on the apartments with him. Shiro, not the guy to mess with, but the first shot misses. Resort paranoid about a wraparound. Goes hunting. That's a confident display from Resort, but he's dead in the pit. Hobbit offers up a double, leaving it on Jerry, and he can't track the Hobbit down. Hobbit from his little hole in the pit finds a big hat trick to keep that pistol looking good for Cloud9.
And plays like that just show you what Jerry sees in this guy in Resort, right? Like the ability to not just take that early shot when he had it, but to stall after taking down the graveyard player and wait for his team to come in on the retake. This is a great display of restraint from Resort, but it's still not enough. Hobbit positions perfectly to hide from Jerry and closes the round with 3 kills.
Let's talk Hobbit then. Let's kind of home in on him a little bit, because I think he was a huge reason as to why that EPL run happened, right? Yes. Don't get me wrong, we had Shiro looking incredible all tournament long, like genuinely out of this world, but that's what we've come to expect from this guy. And then you had Axal as that second man, as this incredible rifling presence within the team. But I do think we've had events where Shiro, hang on a moment. This could get weird. The 5-7 up close, never willing to ride it off.
They're popping. Oh, great grenade.
Great damage from the nade as well. Yeah, this one's going to get a little more interesting before all is said and done. That
Cloud9 throw it right back.
Onto Resort, will deal with him. Zorti's still alive in the site, but not for long. And so there we go. Now we can start to talk big picture again about Cloud9. Yeah, I think Hobbit was so important because it's not unusual for Shiro and Axal to have insane performances, right? And that's why the kind of questions around Cloud9 have always been there, because there's this idea that you have, 2 top 5 players in the world. A lot of people feeling like Shiro is even reaching above the realm that he's at right now, that he still hasn't even hit that ceiling. And yet, in spite of these guys often delivering great performances, the kind of playoff runs, the final appearances have felt a little flat for this Cloud9 team, and they haven't often had those results. And even if they do get there, normally it's been kind of lackluster. And I think that Hobbit, he's the experienced voice. He's the guy with the tenure. He's the guy with a major title. It's so relieving to see him performing the fact that he's come into this in good form, he can be that third man, that third piece of the puzzle, that third player in this terrible triangle that Cloud9 have.
Yeah, and you want me to make it a square? I can do that for you because, you know, not only is Buster improved, hey, maybe we're making it a pentagon, right? We've had Nafany with some incredible maps for Pro League. He put up some really high-rated games that we hadn't seen before out of this guy, or at least in a long time, especially, you know, as he's been under a lot of criticism. So, you know, obviously I'm not sitting here saying Nafany's going to be the guy to look to or he's the star of the show, but if he can be a more consistent element individually, I think Cloud9, they are for me, and I'm going to say this 2 rounds into the BO1, they are for me the 3-0 team. They are for me a top 8, top 4 team for the Paris Major. I have extremely high expectations for Cloud9 at Paris.
I'm on that same bus as you, man. I think this team's been looking better and better, and like you were saying, Harry, that extra 20% boost that has to come out at an event like this when you know you're so close to making it to the major and it being the final one, they should be in great form. They kind of deal with that pressure, and it does seem to lift them up most of the time. Here, though, they are just going to be attempting to walk their way into B, get through this round quite cleanly, not go down to the pistols in close angles. That's what Crad was hoping for, but they don't walk in through the smoke together.
I like that he tried, right? Often players will get bypassed in that smoke if you play right in front of it, but Cloud9, they don't need to waste this opportunity. Nafany walking in with a dually, he's looking to get traded by a rifle. Crad, but that was meant to be the free kill, and Nafany destroys him. So Cloud9 have the round. Forze probably looking to save on Jerry and get exits elsewhere. Cloud9, 3-0 up. Fantastic start to this game.
The pipeline, though, this was meant to be a round that Forze lose, and Cloud9 take it nice and cleanly. I think, you know, I'm glad that you touched on Nafany and how he's actually given us some good games back at the Pro League, because, you know, he's not, you know, he wasn't really like a fragging IGL per se. He did kind of drop off individual, like his form, and you know, he was a player who's subject to a fair deal of criticism at the helm of this team. I think it's even more impressive that he played well at Pro League, considering the circumstances, with Buster still being a relatively new addition there, right? It's not uncommon when IGLs have someone new coming in, or they're having to adjust things, that their performance takes a bit of a hit because the micromanaging kind of kicks up a notch, right? Even looking at the likes of someone like Electronic in Na'Vi, you know, the various times that they've had players come in, most recently obviously being MPL, felt like early on maybe he took a bit of a hit, as obviously he's having to like focus more attention onto the youngster. But then you kind of hit like this golden time period where suddenly things start to click into place, everyone kind of finds their footing within the team, and IGLs get to reflect inward a little bit more and focus on themselves.
Forze always have some style, man. I feel like 2 of these players have painted nails and drip, and they got the chains on them. This guy's showing up looking cool.
Yeah, I like the painted nails. I used to do it, but then I bite my nails, so they look just look scuffed beyond belief.
Yeah.
You know, and I gotta say, I kind of hope that painting them would make me not want to chew them so much, because it tastes
like
bad.
a really disgusting
well, no, because you know, nail polish doesn't have the nicest flavor to begin with. But that didn't stop me. Nothing can stop me.
You will chew through anything.
I'm like a rat, you know?
Like a dog that sees homework.
Exactly.
Just chewing it up.
Right, that little tech pause called to a close. We're right back in. Forze, they're in with the guns now, and even that AWP making an appearance.
Yeah, obviously Shiro's the talk of the town, but you want to talk big AWP players. Zorti has potential to be one of them, and he had some phenomenal games at Pro League. Individually, very flicky player, very fast. As we know, CIS AWPers, I mean, always are and kind of have to be. Axel, this is cheeky. Ahead of the smoke. They're going to flash in. They have no idea. That's beautiful for Axel, and that's the star power that we rely on in Cloud9. Is that their smoke that he put down? I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing with that one. Treacle. Cheeky little trick from old Treacle, mate. He will die. Shalfie needs to do everything here. That Molly's going to burn him out. Forced to swing. Nafany blind takes the kill. And Result hopping around in middle might get punished, attempting to save. Buster hears him go back to alt mid. Oh, it's going to have to be a door swing. Sorty's found an exit, but that should be all it is. And Buster's on the hunt. He'll wait for that bridge cross. Oh, trying to hold it really off angle, but it will work as Result repeaks back. And Zorti, it's not going to be an easy save here.
No, and it's one that he needs as well. Because I completely agree. I feel like he is one of those fantastic AWPers that we're seeing kind of, you know, get into his mindset where he is really confident to take a lot of fights. The one thing I will add to that, though, is at times it feels like on a map-by-map basis, there can be a bit of inconsistency, where if he doesn't start the game off to a good level, he kind of struggles to find him, you know, a way to inject himself back into the action. Here, though, of course, you go 1 for 1 on the frag. As long as he at least holds on to the AWP, it won't be that bad. He's going to get cleared in Boiler. Is he? Whoa.
This is not... Oh, God, he scoped. Not the typical AWP save position, but he gets it, and that's everything, right? You can win rounds with 1 AWP on CT Inferno. It's not common, especially not with Cloud9 playing very tight right now, but you just want that opportunity. Didn't even really get to use his AWP. Found 1 exit, and that will be that. Cloud9 already coming in with a statement. And while I pick Cloud9. I
don't like 2 things. I think it was Forze coming into this in very good form and getting off to a good start, which, don't get me wrong, you know, 4-0 down, maybe not the best sell for that, but, you know, there's this idea that, firstly, still early days, couple of rifle rounds and you're all well and good. I just think they need to feel a bit of control over the game more than actually have it, right? I think for someone like Jerry, he plays his best once he's made a couple of reads, a couple of, you know, gambles or info plays, like aggro starts to rounds that just work, and then that builds confidence up for the entire team.
When we talk game plan, when a team has a game plan, what we mean by that is, you know, what they've found in the demos, what they think they can exploit, what they think they're good at, or most importantly, the opponent is weak at. But what definitely consists of a game plan is those opening 5 rounds, knowing your pistol, knowing your force buy or your anti-eco, and knowing your first buy round. But when that all goes out the window, what do you do? We're having to see the result of that now. Forze playing from the back foot, but they've got a 5v3 right now on this eco round. Hobbit trying to redeem it. Shalty runs out of apartment. Zorti gets caught as Nafany was wide on the angle. And Crad, this might be another kill offered up here. This is starting to crumble.
Yeah, they're trying to bring in a second man to help him out, but Nafany, it just slips past. They've taken long back, but Nafany holds the line. Backstabbed by Crad, so it leaves this 2v2 open. They've spotted a man over towards long. The apps drop leaves them nice and safe. Moving into the A site, they should be able to get this bomb down with no one falling. So it will be a retake here for Forze, but they've done well to get it this close.
No kit. Great grenade. They're going to wrap short side. I like this. The issue is the apartment's player is coming all the way around, and he hears the footsteps. Hobbit can backstab this play. They've cleared Boiler, but he's coming out a little bit late to the party, blows out their birthday candles, and retreats back into safety. Jerry hunts him down, but Hobbit will be having none of it. Another 3K for old Hobbit as Cloud9 run away with the start of this game. That's a 3-on-5.
Yeah, great turnaround from Cloud9. And I think, you know, this is what makes the team scary, because something that Jerry's great at is knowing how rounds should be played. Something that Cloud9 are great at is putting faith in the individuals to carry you through, right? Like Hobbit making this play, wrapping back through the apartments. It's not without its fair share of risks, right? Like if he falls over in Boiler, leaves a 2v1 with your site player trapped, but, you know, instead of that, we have Hobbit hitting this perfect timing, and I mean, he's got full faith in himself to find that gap.
He didn't even run away. You know, I thought he would just escape after a kill. No, he just chases back the second. He knows he's got it.
Banana poised to be a lot more aggressive into this round as well. They wanted to go for the early phase with Zorte. Ooh, Jerry.
Yeah.
Just taking so much damage off the HE on the close broken wall as well. He's very supple now. It'll be easy to take him down, especially as there's still more utility in play for them. Hobbit has another HE. They're not committing off the back of it. So early chip damage and just holding the round. Still only a minute on the clock as well, so early work.
And Cloud9 have held a lot of this util. That's because they've just allowed Shiro to hold the angle with his AWP as they don't aggressively take Banana. Now Forze use a lot of grenades. Ooh, that's a missed smoke over the top. And Krad's got to call it off. He's got to go back. Jerry has a re-smoke that he can drop over, and Krad can throw it in. But Cloud9, they don't have to commit with the first volley. Out goes the flash. They're sending it through this smoke. Krad's still blind, but he takes the fight unwillingly. And honestly, you could argue for the save in this position alone, but that will tempt you in. Lurker removed by the AWP. Jerry, the only one close, and he might even die on the exit.
Yeah. These rounds have gone. You don't even really feel like you've had a proper go at it if you're Forze, right? The closest round we've seen out of them so far was that kind of, you know, quasi-buy around the couple of saved up rifles. So, You know, it doesn't do wonders for the confidence here that every time you're coming in with a rifle round, you're just kind of having the one kill that has to happen come through for Cloud9, and then they go on to steamroll the round. But for Forze, yeah, that's a bit of an awkward one, right? Crab was left alone soloing over towards B. Jerry, kind of the next nearest man, but the rest of Forze was so far removed, it almost looked like Forze were trying to save in the 4v4. Maybe isn't, you know, the most conventional look, but it's how far away they were from that side of the map. Kind of forces their hand, and they don't even get Jerry out of there just to kind of rub salt in the wound. This is a very convincing start for Cloud9, and I gotta say, I think if you're one of these Group B teams who were coming into this as favorites, I think you're glad that you got to go second, just to have the rather somber reminder that you're not invincible, right? You get to look at like that, the Group A results and how some of them panned out. Some of the teams that ended up getting eliminated or sent down to the last chance qualify. You think, you know, the VPs, the Phases of the world, and kind of how for a lot of people they were such safe bets to make it through, but then really pushed to their limits by some of these up-and-coming squads.
Shocking.
I mean, hell, even Na'Vi were taken to double overtime by Into the Breach.
Well, yeah, that one makes more sense. I mean, you know, that's a Legends
I mean, Into
team
the Breach
right there,
are
that's
a
a Legends
big
team.
legend.
Come on.
Literally
king
one of the
himself,
best in the
Thomas.
game.
You were
so.
talking about the idea of Forze going to Legends, and then we'd have the Tom v Jerry matchup.
Yeah,
Forze.
another good one that someone tweeted me is, oh, that's a nice open,
Lovely.
is if Astralis make it and Fluxer were there, then we have Woody v Buzz, the Toy Story matchup.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's sick.
There's a couple of good ones, isn't there?
That's so cool.
So you could get Tom and Jerry and potentially Toy Story matchups at the last Global Offensive Major.
Incredible scenes. And they're aggressive. They're retaking Banana. Both orbs find blind shots in this round. That's the meta game of, you know, pushing off your flash, but also firing off your flash. And sometimes why players delay it. No flash lands there. Zorti just hits his dry shot. Buster does get dinked, but he responds. And now they're going to have to pop A while Zorti's on his own. Buster's getting caught with nades out. Oh, this shot, Zorti. Back for more. He can't finish the job. 3 on 2. Jumping through the smoke. It's desperate for Crad. And Shalfie is left saving face. But he might die pushing mid into the bomb. Shiro won't hang around. Cloud9, this is a 7th.
Oh, man. If you're Zorte as well, it's so unfortunate. Like, the spawn of rounds he's had in the past 3, he's always had the AWP. You get that one pick, you feel like you're iced out of the round. Here, he's finally on a position where it feels like he's creating momentum, getting the back into it. The repeat, dude, surely that's a shot he hits.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good repeat. You know, you should go for that. You saw him with nades out, but you missed 2 shots. That's what you get, the pressure. Something that Cloud9 have learned how to deal with more and more. But Forze, and this is my fear for some of these CIS teams. I think for Spirit as well, who's ironically their results haven't actually been that good despite being a previous top 4 major team. Free kill here. Oh no, yeah, free kill. In that, I think, you know, especially for Forze, I'm not sure about that one. Are they ready for the pressure that the RMR and the major stage brings? Jerry talked about it, right? The amount of upsets and how some teams do struggle. I mean, Forze haven't been in these positions. This would be Jerry's 3rd major, but every time we've seen him at a major, boys, it's been with Forze, and he's gone out in essentially last place. So, oof. That one hurts. That whole round, really.
Oh, that's...
And you can see the stress already getting to the captain. So yeah, I think for younger players, for less experienced players, I think that pressure is paramount here for Forze.
And, you know, I think this is worst case scenario for how this could have opened. Jerry, being a guy who really loves to prep, this, you know, we always push this storyline, but it's because he really loves it. Like, you know, feeling like he's got a great game plan for the game. And the issue isn't the game plan right now for Forze. The individuals look a little cold, if I'm honest, right? Some of the deaths that we've had just look ugly, and you can normally, you know, get a vibe for how a team's playing, like based on the swing kills in the round. There's been a couple of moments here, you know, where you're dying in just sort of awkward manners, you know, and a few of them are off of not having the info, where you're like rotating into an area that you've lost, so you're getting caught like knife out in rotation. That's what happened to Crad in that round there. Things like that, you know, it's a death that in the situation you were in was unavoidable. You're knife out, running down long, but it's like, you think about the context, how you even got to that position where you don't know what's happening at long. They've somehow found this gap. They've got this man advantage. They're turning around that you kick-started with your AWP. You know, it just looks awkward right now for Forze, and that's not really what I associate with this team. And I think that gets more frustrating when you know that they do the prep and you know that they have a game plan coming in. You're not even really getting to realize the game plan, because I can assure you some element of the game plan very much hinged on actually winning some of these head-to-heads, and they've not really been able to do that now. It's a slow start to the game for Jerry, slow start to the game for Crad. And considering Crab plays a very important role here, you know, frequently getting left in these sort of solo B holds, Forze are one of the teams that do quite like to go for these grouped gambles over towards A, lean over towards that side of the map, or at least that's what we've kind of seen from the early stages of this one so far. Crad really has to deliver in those moments. You know, at least going 1-for-1 is very much a required. Pressure, down banana, full blind. And it's things like this, like once again, you've had the idea in this round. You know what you wanted to do. You know where you wanted to try and take the opener. Your flash even landed. You've kind of nailed everything you had to do to try and take that banana control. But Shiro, full blind, and really in his element.
You think Shiro needs to see? This guy's got more blind kills than anything else in this game already. Zorti continues to put up the goods, though. He's found another opener down middle. Result playing the apartments. With a lot of pressure here. Got that third rotation, as you said. Crad being left as a solo B. He has the util. Result with an important kill. He doesn't drop off. He wants more. There he goes. Out into the pit. Buster hears it. Minute on the clock, and still with mid-control. An anti-flash setup with Shalfie.
Oh, but smoked off. Shalfie now left fighting alone. They're not going to clear for him initially, but that AWP in the boiler tries its hand at the trade. However, Shalfie gets out with his life intact. Forze tucking in. Good show of restraint here in the 4v3, turn 4v2. They lose one man to Buster coming out of the apartments, but he's whittled down super low, and so shouldn't be able to find a way back in here. Forze looking to find their first round. Oh, hang on a moment. One out of it. But Buster, one shot away from certain death, and he's dealt with the AWP. It's the two M4s that will finish the job. Shalfie from the short side, and he even had a man nearby to swing and play that trade game, just in case Buster was feeling like making that any more competitive.
Finally, some fist bumps going around for Forza as well. They have something to celebrate. A nice hold out of Zorti with some big impact on that AWP. It's exactly what you needed. And I like that mid setup as well. They collapse on Cloud9, who have often had mid-control for free, with very limited util to push back that AW.
University of Arizona Esports integrates varsity-level competition with career development. Wildcat gamers connect from every imaginable background and triumph as one community. The University of Arizona. Wonder unites us.
Can they get away with much more? Dude, look at these shots for Shiro. Every round, they're just the same thing. He got dinked for 10 health. Like for 10 damage. He's just firing as soon as he can't see it, he's hitting it.
Hey, there we go.
Compare that to the previous round. What a flip-flop. But hey, suddenly they know they can pull this back. It's within reach.
It's early doors. That's the difference as well, right? 7-1 is 7-1 still. You can compartmentalize that and kind of reset as long as you play out the rest of the half to the best of your ability. Making the best of the money they have here, and again, going for the aggressive play to try and command control of Banana. Axel gets the first and pushes back up for even more as well. He's got behind the car, so should kill Crad, and that is a car crash of an opener. This is now a 3 versus 5, with the response being send Resort out through bedroom.
He does know right below him. The shadow shows. Buster knows what's up. Result falls in. Silent drop. Got to give it to Result. He almost made that work. The silent drop into the turnaround, and Buster knew it was coming. But still, it's his kill. And now Forze have to gamble. Pick a site, play together, hope for the best. There's a world where you're hoping they don't even come towards you.
Yeah, and really Cloud9 aren't feeling a pressure to commit. Like, if they go B right now and they see Shalfie here, they might even just go, oh, it's probably a gamble, it's probably a stack, we won't bother committing. They have a man over in top mid for exactly this, so... You know, the hope is right now of like some big spray down moment from Forze. They spot one player, but they know the utils displaced them here. And so Forze might have been gambled over towards B with both players, and yet still they've been pushed out by the util, just having a save. And you can see Cloud9 don't want to let them get away with it. This is even a pretty slow bomb plant, but what that's meant is that these players over in alt mid are now grouped, right? You've got them playing together in this hunt of the weapons, and it's a big hunt at that. You know, if you knock these out, forcing a full reinvestment out of the Forze squad.
I'm surprised now that Krad's still getting caught by these top banana plays. Axel is playing these smokes very well, going through either side of them. You're spamming banana smoke when you know Krad has banana, also when you know Cloud9 have banana. Oh, don't re-peek, yeah. Hold off. Oh, he's going to go for it. Zorti feeling it, but that's too feisty. We've had a lot of those on the saves, a lot of re-peeks, a lot of hunts for kills.
And you know, so when I interviewed both of these teams, I asked them about, you know, their most recent online matchup and the sort of feelings that they had about it. As mentioned, they played in a final online literally a week ago. Cloud9 won it dominantly, and Inferno was one of the maps played. It ended up being a 16-7, but all the rounds that Forze got were T-side rounds. They got 7-0'd in the second half with Cloud9 on the T-side. And so I think it was kind of essential to feel like you had a chance in this game to offer something up in this CT half. And the fact that Cloud9 got off to the exact same 7-0 start that we saw in that matchup last time they played probably hasn't done wonders for the confidence and the belief in the game plan here in this BO1.
Even that, Forze try and build a boost in middle behind the G2 smoke, and Cloud9 just spam it. They were between two minds. Orti wanted to leave, Shalfie wanted to commit, but hey, at least he lives with his gun barely. Might have to swap it out, to be honest. Gives it over to Krad instead. And Forze are 4 on B, but of course Cloud9 have dealt with these gambles every single time.
Cloud9 with a free bomb site. Can clear it out, get the bomb planted, tidy up this round, put it in a bin bag, and move on to the next. With 9 already being the buffer they've been able to achieve here on their T side in the opening best of 1. Keep in mind that's what it is, of course, as well. So Forze, in terms of the reset, it's got to come in quite quickly. You've got to get back into the groove of this game. We need a little bit more out of them on the CT side here.
Yeah, and I don't even just think it's a result of the seeding, but I also think it's the amount of talent and some of the upcoming teams, obviously Forze being one of them, inside of this group. But I think, yeah, okay, sure, it's not going well here, but how close some of these BO1 openers are bound to be is incredible. Right now on the other stream, we have 500 against Heroic, and they're 5-6 down, so they are competitive. But even looking at Spirit Aurora, I think you can make the argument, especially with Spirit's recent form, having trouble, more so against tier 1 teams, but also online. That could be a close game. Vitality Astralis is no guarantee with a grudge match. Nip Eternal Fire, good luck predicting that one. So I think there's a lot of close opening games considering, you know, these are BO1s. There will be some upsets today, surely. I mean, what even are favorites anymore, as we're learning in the RMR, as we do every time. And G2 do as well. They've got 9 as their last match. That's a scary one.
Yeah, well, speaking of having 9, Cloud9 are sat there right now looking to reach double digits.
You could even say 9 in the name, 9 in the game, Harry.
Exactly, you could say that. You certainly could.
I think I will. I possibly may.
Well, Resol, he's got a 3 in the name, hoping for 3.5 maybe. That's a wild world, but that's where we are. Cloud9 have been lights out, and this is giving a lot of faith in the squad.
Orp on B is nice. Change up for Forze. They've got a double setup. They've got Jerry playing aggressive. As soon as Zorti fires, the flash goes over and Jerry re-aggros. Is that a miss smoke? I don't know where it's like. It sounds like it's on the roof. Oh no, it's a wall smoke down. Jerry's still playing ahead of it though. Get ready for this to come crumbling down.
Yeah, he wants to push. Here they are. Banana anti-flash on 2, and now Zorti's in a bit of a weird place. You don't want to recommit here. You don't want to try that trade. There's too many bodies around the corner. He's just going to play a close angle and then looks to swing, but Shiro's got his number. Shiro, as a counter-AWP presence, has been terrifying in this game. Krad tucked in, but they know about a third man. He got that flash assist earlier on, and you know that he's the off and B player. You know, he's the B anchor, so they should be ready for him. Will they be able to get past him? That's a different story. First kill goes his way. Krad looking for even more. Plucks Napany out of the round before Shiro trades him. Xiaofi on the other side of this smoke, and unknown entity, this second presence, fourth in line to the B site defense. Xiaofi comes through, and he whips the opportunity. Shiro misses that shot, but Buster makes up for it.
You can't even blame Xiaofi there. He wants to kill the cover. He knows with the plant noise that that player is sticking the bomb, and why go for the planter when you've got a guy with his gun out? Realizes Shiro's not facing, read his position perfectly, flicks to the planter, and then Shiro peeks. Shiro, I've never seen a T-side AWP have as much impact as him, hitting these blind shots, but more importantly, just positioning into every repeat exhaust he's given us on the CT side. It's been unbelievable. Another 3K for Shiro. And Cloud9, this is a statement now. 10-1. Is there any retribution?
I mean, it's in these environments. It's when you're on land, but you're in a studio. I think Cloud9 is so dangerous. They just feel and look so comfortable here.
Oh, the legs.
This is Wix.
Throws Molly, doesn't play it. He knows something's up. Maybe he heard the jump, but wrong position at least. They try and hunt down. Result getting eager.
I like the move from Result, right? He hears them spamming and he thinks like, screw it. Right now, you know, they're just shooting into a wall in the apartments. I'll give it a little look in. Takes that risk, not immune to having to take risks in round like this.
Cloud9 is just playing so patient on this T side. It's a minute and they're holding all their util and they have great map control. Axel's flirting with the B site, but maybe he's not getting the signs back. So Cloud9 walk out middle, contact without a flash and get ready to execute.
Talking of executing, Resort up close with a 5-7. Man wants you to beat into him, wants to send you to heaven. Crad, though, on the Deagle, flicks up, blows the head of Buster clean off. Shiro comes back in. Resort actually making this round look lively as well. He's gone on to find free. Xiaofi getting involved with the action. It's all on Axel. Bomb dropped in front of him. Xiaofi just swings. And that's how Forze finally get themselves a second.
Yeah, some nice shooting from the Deagles there, from Xiaofi and Crowd especially. I can't believe Shiro wallbangs out the Grave player after getting communicated by his apps man, but that's a very important round for Forze. They're looking for anything near the end of the half. Getting desperate now, but making the most of a bad situation. Result. He's looked on, right, just by looking at his aim and the moves he's willing to make in this game, some of the apps aggression, but Cloud9 have just been punishing every play. So finally, Forze, they're getting hyped when they do win rounds. It's just not that frequent.
The boost. Oh, and Axel delivers a double.
Sickening.
Empty B site now, and Cloud9. This should be the immediate reply. They've already won this round. They just need to go through the motions of finishing it off.
Caring for a third, because that kind of setup does look like it could be warranted by a flash, playing coffins or something. Yeah, Resol learned his lesson. Screw the silent drop. I'm falling in on Buster's head. There's no one there.
Dude, I mean, the thing that's been so impressive to me, because, you know, we're talking about how this is like a statement victory for Cloud9, how it's looking really clean, really concise. Shiro has been such a huge part of it, and that's really impressive because he's T-side AWPing and finding this much impact. Like, he's been a source of opening kills in some of these rounds. These are more the ones where, like, Forze try and pressure him, right? But it's just... You know, one of the things we always used to say about someone like James is, even though he's not an aggressive AWPer, the impact that he carries on the game is aggressive, or at least it's oppressive in how you play, right? You're more restricted on a lot of the lines, a lot of the angles that you can take, because you're so paranoid about him being posted up and just holding for you, and so in doing so, it makes the life of your AWPer harder. And I think that's something that Shiro has nailed down tenfold in this game already. It feels like whenever Zorti tries to make a play, he's already being held on a line by Shiro's AWP. And so that's been really nice. You know, it's meant that we often say CT side Inferno, this is where AWPers find all their impact. It's actually made life very miserable for Zorti in a lot of these rounds.
Axel just beaming headshots in this half, though. Every entry he's given us towards B has been lights out. And I feel for Forze. I wouldn't want to be playing a Cloud9 looking this fresh. This is, yeah, probably the best team in the group other than G2. Well, Heroic are there as well. It's hard to know. It's hard to know form. I think the BO1s are a good taste test, you know?
No, it is fun. I think especially the fact that we got this as a best of one as well kind of adds that extra, you know, layer to the 4D chess.
Yeah, we like some regional matchups for sure. I mean, hey, Heroic right now are split down the middle against 500. The Bulgarians taking them 8-7. So far more competitive over there.
Bulgarian CS has always been primed for an upset, though.
Yeah.
Anytime there's an opportunity, they love to full send it.
I feel like we just haven't had them on the big stages, or we haven't had, you know, these players have been milling around for a few years now, a few variations of these rosters, and they've never really been in the tier 1 lands, you know, qualifying to, I feel like I'm always seeing them every day on HLTV, but I'm never quite seeing them in the tier 1 events. So this is another great opportunity for them to do that, obviously in the harder group.
It did feel like there was an early point in Go where we had a lot of Bulgarian success, and then it kind of just disappeared for a bit. Now sort of always floating around, kind of commanding control the tier 2 scene.
Yeah,
so
the gatekeepers, if you
oh
want to call
yeah,
them
but
that.
they do not let go of that gate.
Locked door. This B site though, open for the taking if these last few rounds would be anything to go by. Cloud9 making a lot of noise. They still have 2 lurkers, but they're looking like they want to commit. Wall smoke is in. One way's dropped for Crad, and there's the swing with the flash, but it's still traded. This is a fake out right now. Look at the A site. Shalfie stopped it. And now they're left kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Oh dear, yeah, that bomb's going back over towards top mid, but Cloud9 don't even have this real estate anymore. Still, 2v4 doesn't sound great for Cloud9, but look who's still alive. It's Axel and Shiro, right? These guys, the 2 heavy hitters, the 2 big boys. However,
great position.
Result in a real good spot. Just going to dive in and grab the backstab out through the apartments. That's the 3rd. 3 in the name, now 3 in the game. Forze trying to find a 4th before this first half is all said and done.
Yeah, it's not good, but it will do at this point.
No, I mean, but this just kind of speaks volumes for how good, you know, we were saying about Shiro being oppressive on the AWP. I mean, I think that falls for the entire Cloud9 squad right now. One thing you're going to note is that, like, Forze are playing super reactive Counter-Strike, and that's not normally the way that you want to go about it, but a lot of these proactive moves have been punished. Every time we've seen aggression come through, it's normally led to an opener for Cloud9. So it's forcing you to play reserved. It's forcing you to play back in the bomb sites. And that leaves you a bit of a harder task in some of these site pushes, especially versus a team like Cloud9. I think if you're going to give them the room and respect to set up and run their executes and let them feel comfortable in that, then you are going to be in for a bad time. And it's like usually the solution is to try and come through with like calculated aggression. But whenever we've seen that for Forze, it's often been to their detriment. This round, top mid's taken by Cloud9. They're working that banana control again. It's just a strong default right now with the potential to accelerate into something. With Axel getting a pick over towards B. We have a 5v4 right now for Cloud9. A full gamble from Forza. They pulled everyone over towards this A site, but they're still losing players left and right.
Shalfie on the box, his teammates doing all of the work for him as well. Wow. Head blown off for Buster, and it's just down to Hobbit, who has been heavy-handed in the matchup so far. But in a 1 versus 3, with just 37 seconds, can he actually make some magic happen here? Got himself poised back on middle. Already you can see the debate. Jerry rotating, thinking he could have slipped off, and he is going to go for the mad rotation. Has no utility to work with. 50 HP, AK, and 20 seconds on the clock. And Jerry's rotated back, so it's clear for him. He can wander on in. He won't know this, so he's got to waste a bit of time.
Oh, there's the run for Jerry. Hobbit, if he gets his kill quickly, he can plant the bomb. Jerry swings it, and he will close. Forze do find 4 at the end of the half. They have something to set their sights on here, moving into the CT side. It won't be easy, but when is it easy up against Cloud9?
Doing something for me for a change was getting my education, so I decided that Purdue Global was the way to go.
Learning should never stop.
It was definitely the right time for me.
There's more to life than just being everyday average.
This is my comeback. Start yours at purdueglobal.edu.
Cloud9 having a whale of a time as they dive deep into that T side, 11 rounds up against Forza. And in this regional rundown in a BO1 opener, Cloud9 are looking to start strong. Forza, a pistol will go a long way, I've heard people say, but we'll have to see if they can pick it up and put it down. Or this might be a very quick game.
Yeah, you know, I say on the upside, maybe this is overselling it, but this is at least consistent with the online head-to-head between these teams, right? In that Cloud9 had a great T-side versus Forza when they played just a week ago. Forze were able to offer up a bit more on their T-side, so let's see.
Minute and 30 on the clock. Poising themselves towards top banana. Having a quick look at the guns as well. Shiro will be armed with 2 big old dualies. The Berettas prepared to brap in the faces of Forza if they are not ready for the bombardment. Smoke primed as well. Contact found. Drop the smoke over. Waste a bit of time. Block the CT smoke slightly as well. He's got the flashbang primed for the commotion. Here comes the push. Shiro with the first. Actually takes down 2, and he's going for all of them. That's 4 in the end. Crab, the only one that can actually bounce back in the combat. He's trapped Hobbit in the corner. Clears it, but Buster through the smoke just finishes things off.
Dude, that's gnarly. That's absolutely sick. 4 kills for Shiro. That right-click flash sets him up perfectly, and it's not the easiest spot to clear, especially when you're coming through gray screen like that. Jumping through the smoke. No one's looking up. Why are you looking up? Why would you?
God, dude, literally, his character model did a full flip, and yeah, damn right, you would do a backflip if you'd just done that in the pistol. The second shot, the fact that he's been able to get his crosshair across so fast and actually just brutalize them is madness. Hell of a pistol round to bring the confidence up and keep Forze down.
Oh, that's the one Galil, and it's been dinked. Krad's going to throw that over. Sorry, buddy. Can't play your weapon of choice now. Measly P2 Schmitty. My God, Cloud9. Oh, they tap out Krad. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to feel good for the mental.
No.
And I think there's been a lot of moments like that in this game where, you know, you've had deaths where it feels like, great, didn't even see anyone, didn't even really feel like I got to play the round. You know, for all we know, could have been some huge plan here. Krad maybe was going to get set up, lead the charge. Being that guy to open up and create space, might have had a whole strat to go with it, might have put a week's worth of prep into what you were going to do here, and it's stolen away through a smoke. You also lose Jerry, who's now leading from beyond the grave. Shalfi creates a bit of room with his great T-side versus Forze when they played just a week ago. Forze were able to offer up a bit more on their T-side, so let's see.
Minute and 30 on the clock. Poising themselves towards top banana. Having a quick look at the guns as well. Shiro will be armed with 2 big old dualies. The Berettas prepared to brap in the faces of Forze if they are not ready for the bombardment. Smoke primed as well. Contact found. Drop the smoke over. Waste a bit of time. Blocked the CT smoke slightly as well. And he's got the flashbang primed for the commotion. Here comes the push. Shiro with the first. Actually takes down 2, and he's going for all of them. That's 4 in the end. Crab, the only one that can actually bounce back in the combat. He's trapped Hobbit in the corner. Clears it, but Buster through the smoke just finishes things off.
Dude, that's gnarly. That's absolutely sick. 4 kills for Shiro. That right-click flash sets him up perfectly, and it's not the easiest spot to clear, especially when you're coming through gray screen like that. Jumping through the smoke. No one's looking up. Why are you looking up? Why would you?
God, dude, literally, his character model did a full flip, and yeah, damn right, you would do a backflip if you'd just done that in the pistol. The second shot, the fact that he's been able to get his crosshair across so fast and actually just brutalize them is madness. Hell of a pistol round to bring the confidence up and keep Forze down.
Oh, that's the one Galil, and it's been dinked. Krad's going to throw that over. Sorry, buddy. Can't play your weapon of choice now. Measly P2 Schmitty. My God, Cloud9. Oh, they tap out Krad. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to feel good for the mental.
No.
And I think there's been a lot of moments like that in this game where, you know, you've had deaths where it feels like, great, didn't even see anyone, didn't even really feel like I got to play the round. You know, for all we know, could have been some huge plan here. Krad maybe was going to get set up, lead the charge. Being that guy to open up and create space, might have had a whole strat to go with it, might have put a week's worth of prep into what you were going to do here, and it's stolen away through a smoke. You also lose Jerry, who's now leading from beyond the grave. Shalfi creates a bit of room with his deagle over on the long side, but as they wrap into the spawn, Hobbit already here, keeps him on a leash. Result will get that trade. Bit more room again. He's going to try and commit to the wrap over here towards B. The bomb over in mid. Would need to start to make a move to this side of the map.
It's a powerful position from Nafany, though, to off-angle. Result going to have to clear it if he wants to win this round, and he does. The bomb was waiting for a reaction. Zorti will get exactly what he bargained for, and now the B side open for business with Buster from the pit side. Has to run around the world. There's a kit there in mid. He's going to pick it up. He's got nades. And he's got a chance to take 2 1v1s. A smoke will be of high value here in this post plant. They smoke the banana. Whether or not they hold it, though, is another question.
If anything, I would have loved to have seen a slight longer delay on this smoke drop, because it is going to fade Buster here, and he's even seen a man cross back into the site. Other dude is at CT, ready to pincer in, and the timing on that, Buster was holding for it, but Resol, there's the round, all right? Now you're cooking, now you got something going. Resol offers it up with a big hat trick, right? Opens with the trade on a Hobbit over at Speedway, and then goes on a tear.
Is that 3 in the name and 3 in the game,
That is
Harry?
a 3 in the name and a 3 in the game for the man.
What a great clear as well on Nafany. That's a crucial kill. To think that Zorti, the reason Zorti's holding mid there as well is because they don't know if that B player's pushed down Banana. He doesn't want to lose the bomb. He'd rather entrust Result with all the risk, and he can play out the 1vX after the fact. But Result clears Nafany, and they know B is empty from who's alive on the scoreboard. So dangerous, but hey, you gotta use a bit of danger sometimes. No reward without risk. And no salt without a read.
Well, no smoke without fire, unless you've got some dry ice. So who's going to be too cold to hold here in the 18th? 12-5 to the split. Buster with the turn. Couldn't swivel his way back around in time, so Axar on the 5-7 had to get the trade. At least you silenced Resort as well, as he is the hot-handed player for Forze at the minute that's been making the difference in these key rounds. It's a mixed bag of weapons, though, in terms of the positions. Really, you're relying on one man to do most of the work, and then the UMP and CT probably just going to get trapped inside a library as the smoke's gone up. That's the flashbang pull to go for a pop play. Runs through with the SMG, actually hits onto them and takes down 2. This puts it into a bit more of an interesting spot. Control of the bomb. Oh, Nafany.
Naf-Oni, not phony, Maui. That was unbelievable. He had that perfect flash that popped behind him, and Naf owns 3 in middle. Dude, what?
Yeah, that's insane. The final 2 bullets of the UMP as well to find that last kill on Shalfie coming back through the smoke. And so Cloud9, the response is immediate. It's the captain to do it for him as well. Nafany's loving these right-handed flashes, these right-click flashes where you just throw them as high as you can. The only sound cue you get is about a millisecond before it pops.
Yeah.
You literally hear it go ding, and then boom, you're blind. Both those players at long caught by it. He's brought that trick out a couple of times now, and it's serving him really well, just underhanding these flashbangs through smokes.
It's just unreal. It doesn't blind him in the slightest. You've got to be picture.
Look at this. By the way, that was 2 bullets. Like, he just had to hit both of them in the head. He had one opportunity to nail that. And everyone's smiling after that round.
Yeah, what great form we're seeing Cloud9 in. Like, it doesn't even matter what Forze are doing at this point. Just from how this game began, with Forze coming in with a game plan, trying to play aggressive CT sides, take banana, take middle, even with a lot of opening kills, but those blind shots for Shiro. And everyone's doing their job here in the CT side for Cloud9. One little clutchy round for Forze. And, you know, we talk about that form being great at Pro League. It wasn't even just Pro League as well. Remember in that tournament you just talked about where Cloud9 beat them in the final? Forze's run, they beat BNE and VP and Mouse all 2-0.
Yeah, it was basically like the RMR warm-up, right? Like, but
that's Mouse, man. That's VP. Like these, okay, yeah, VP not quite, you know, an RMR succeeding team, but a major champion. My goodness, this has been unbelievable from Cloud9 despite that history. Forze now down a man. Axel takes that opener and peels back. Forze will do the same in mid. They have a big gap here. They don't know it though. And Hobbit, Buster rather wants info. He's going to find out the hard way. Oh, can't kill Axel, of course. Nafany jumps around a corner and Zorti. Yeah, bro.
You can get a bomb plant.
Try and plant. Try and plant. No.
Nice. Love that. Love that check. Love that clear. He will plants in the open. Hobbit spams him.
It's just one of those games, eh, boys?
And so not even the bomb plant secured for Forze there.
My oh my.
A lot of smoke kills in this game. A lot of wild rounds. Axel offering up one of them here. Beautiful display from him over towards the library. And I mean, it's very calm right now for Cloud9. This is exactly how you want to begin your RMR, is just feeling like you are in full control the entire time. No reason to doubt yourself, no reason to think that, you know, what's been bestowed around some of the other big teams here. I mean, hell, even FaZe, who Cloud9 lost to in the Grand Finals of Pro League to give them the Grand Slam pickup. You know, even those guys down in the last chance qualifier, I think when you see that, maybe it gave you a bit of nerves, made you a little worried as to how your group was going to go, but this is how Cloud9 wanted to open. This is the form we want to see them in.
I respect the full eco here for Forze. They're really trying to maximize their gun rounds. Axel somehow survives multiple tirades of T's as they get control of the arch side. Napoli doesn't care. He is not here to play games. He will run at them. Try and end this anti-eco with ease, and that's exactly how it will be. 1v3 for Crad. Cloud9. There was a point in this game where maybe Forze could have pulled a couple back, but Cloud9 said a heavy-handed no. Leave Forze with a heavier heart.
Heavy is the hand. And for Crad, can he get off a few last-minute backhanders to potentially give him a go at this round? No. Buster puts the foot down, closes his out, finishes that one off, and moves on to match point here in the opening best of ones of the RMR for Group B. So looking pretty damn good. And the man on your screens there, Resort as well. He was the difference maker for the Forze side. Really looks strong. Even just watching his crosshair, you can see that he's on it today, man. Like how fast his flicks are, the adjustment, the fights he's willing to take. But in the end, you need the entire roster here. Right now, they're going to use this last timeout to see if there's any way they can physically come back into this game. It would need to be an unbelievable one, forcing it into OT before they can even think about the prospect of winning this.
What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the other thing that we're seeing here is like the floor of Cloud9 is just so much higher. You know, like, dude, there's a 5 kill differential between like top to bottom of the Cloud9 scoreboard. And it feels kind of important to draw attention to that as well, because this is a team that would often be top heavy with Shiro and Axel on the squad, right? So having these kind of performances down the roster is a huge deal. For Forze, meanwhile, from top to bottom, it's an 11 kill differential, so pretty big difference. And I think on a map like Inferno, that really matters. That's why some of these rounds have just felt like, you know, 2 kills come in, 1 kill comes in some of them, and then the round is over. You know, Inferno is a map that is very much based around saving, based around gambling, and it's so often been Forze in those positions that they don't even really feel like they have a read on this game right now. How could you have had a read? You get smoke shot to open a round, you're 4v5 down, and then you're just forced to play Cloud9's game.
Look at this. He's
Napoli with a smoke walk, yeah. You're allowed to take a couple of ballsy rounds at this scoreline, right? That's the freedom of a 15-5. You can take a risk like that. And then his teammates are here to pick up the pieces. Buster and Hobbit all laying waste to Forza. They might have got the opener, but Axel here to finish things off from down in the pit. Zorti with a trade, tap on the bomb, but won't stick it. Last time he attempted this, Hobbit spammed him out from library. This time he takes a safer plant spot, but he is getting wrapped up through the short side. Shiro on this flank, and Zorti having to consider these timings, now ready for a grouped push over towards short, perhaps. This is how Forza would have played it. Hell, this is how Forza did play these moments. Was group, go together, out through short, but he misses the opener. And so Cloud9, they dominate Forza to open up their run at the RMR.
Bloody good work for Cloud9. Day in the office starting strong. Obviously one more BO3 to play later once this Swiss rallies up and we know where things are going. But Cloud9 coming through looking like the team we need here. We need one consistency at least in the RMR, with Heroic already being taken all the way by 500. Cloud9, they make quick work of Forza.
Yeah, very clean, very concise. Kind of exactly what we would expect, but we'll be back in just a moment to kind of talk about this a little more.